Our guest speaker for tonight has been the Director of Education since June 2010. Prior to that, he began his career in education as a woodwork teacher at the junior secondary school level in 1978. He subsequently taught technical drawing at the senior secondary level, both here at home and Montserrat, and for 4 years between 1996 and 2000 at the Brigado Educational Center in the BVI. Mr. Francis was also Vice Principal of the Montserrat Secondary School from 2000 to 2004, and then became the Principal from 2004 to 2006 before he migrated to the UK. He holds a diploma in industrial technology, that's construction, a Bachelor's of Education in Industrial Technology, construction, and a Master's of Science in Management in Education. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker for tonight is Mr. Glen Francis.
Good evening, and please allow me to adopt the protocol that's been set by our chairperson, but allow me also to acknowledge the presence of two very fine ladies that I respect with a deep amount of affection. Mrs. Jemmett, of course, and Mrs. Watts. Mrs. Watts was principal at, first met Mrs. Watts when she was principal at Plymouth Junior Secondary, and she followed me down to secondary some years later. But as a lady, those two ladies I have the utmost respect for their contribution to education and for what I've learned from them over the years. And I'm sure I've learned a lot from many of you here, but I just had to acknowledge those two. So, thank you all. And I'm not sure that the title guest speaker is appropriate in this occasion. I know I'm a speaker, but as to be a guest, I mean, this is being put out by the Ministry of Education. We are work, so I don't know about guests. Nonetheless, it's my first attempt at being a guest speaker. I just imagine if I don't do a very good job of this, I probably won't be invited anywhere else to be a guest of anything. So I better get this right. One of the services that governments provide to its people is education. Government typically operates on the principle that its people are its greatest assets. Some countries have gold deposits, some have oil, some depend on agriculture, some engage in mining mineral deposits, and some have places of interest to attract tourists to their shores. Some countries are not so blessed with physical resources, and all that are left are its people. But even when they are so blessed, without a forward-thinking population, those assets hardly mean anything for the advancement of that country. Some countries depend solely on the ingenuity and innovation and industry of its people to make economic progress. Often when those governments do not develop its people to bring out their enterprise, the country makes little progress. Inevitably, persons from outside, people who have little love or little interest in the development of the country, they come in and they live high on the hog, on the blood, sweat and tears of the local man. Often those persons are only intent on exploiting the assets and taking away as much of the profits as they can get away with. And often they leave the locals fighting over the bones and the scraps. But governments have learned their lessons over many, many years. They have learned that they need to develop their people if their countries to progress. They have learned that in that context, the people are its greatest asset. And like any of its assets, they must be exploited in a developmentally sustainable way. Not to do this condemns the country to rising crime, falling economic activity, stagnation, lack of creativity, lack of enterprise, and an increase in the number of persons who flee like rats from the decks of a sunken ship. All resources spent on developing people have to be seen in the context of an investment in the future. all resources spent on developing people must be seen in the context of an investment in the future. Investment denotes future gain. I spend X amount of dollars developing an asset now with the expectation of returns to accrue over and above what I've spent. It is an activity based on hope. Hope of a better day. Hope of a better life. An expectation and a hope of greater returns. By the end of secondary education, a child will have invested 10 years of his or her life with a hope that out of that investment will come a better life. It is said that education can take a family, not just the individual, but a family, out of poverty within a single generation. It happens because one educated person in an otherwise uneducated family gives hope to newer members of that family. If one of us can do it, then maybe I can too. That's hope. That is what hope is. But it also works because education can mean a better paycheck, a bigger paycheck at the end of the month, which gives a family a higher standard of living. A higher standard of living gives hope because people feel better about themselves and their prospects. Yes, young people, education is about hope. Hope in the future. Hope for a better life. Our government recognizes the need to develop our people and has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on each of you in the last 10 years or more, without buildings being built and technology in the schools and books being purchased and teachers being trained and hired. A good education for many of us would be a mere wistful dream. But because government has made the investment, you have hope. We have hope. This country, Montserrat, has hope. But hope is an abstract feeling. It is not something tangible that you can hold on to. Hope without translation to reality will remain just like a mist on a chilly morning, which burns away when the sun shines its burning light on it. And then it disappears in the harsh reality of that sunshine. It is a wisp of smoke which disappears at the mere hint of a wind. Hope that does not deliver is a frustration-building activity. You keep hoping for a better life which never seems to come. And it will eventually lead you into giving up. Unrequited hope leads to hopelessness. And so here we are, ladies and gentlemen, young people. This country has invested in you. What does the country expect in return? Well, let me say a few things about that. I have some ideas about that. Montserrat expects that you, the educated young people, will eventually raise children that support national development. You will raise children who recognize the value of education and will grow up to be good citizens for the future. That is our hope. That is Montserrat's hope. Montserrat expects that you will continue on a track which brings you more education so that you will continue to develop the country. If you need to go overseas to continue your education, then do so. But by all means, come back. You will become our doctors and our politicians. You will be our economists and our accountants. You will lead the charge as our IT experts and our scientists. You will be our teachers and our preachers. You will be our farmers and our fishers, our butchers and our garment makers. That is our hope. That is Montserrat's hope. You will prosper. You will stimulate economic activity as you create your own personal wealth. You will borrow monies from our financial sector and create massive projects which create jobs for our people so that they can pay their taxes and feed their families. You will make your fair share contribution to the economic development of our people. That is our hope. That is Montserrat's hope. Government, our government is committed to creating the environment for economic activity in the private sector. You will carve out your own niche. The developments of Little Bay represent enormous opportunities for forward-thinking people like you to make a successful life. Our hope is that you do not let others come in here and develop the area and take the profits away. You will ensure that the area remains in the hands of the local entrepreneurs like yourself. That is our hope. That is Montserrat's hope. Through positive contributions, you will bring Montserrat to the attention of the world. As they said of Jesus in the day, can anything good come out of Nazareth? Show them that something good and great can come out of this little rock. You will show the world that we live good, but we tell our. That is our hope. That is Montserrat's hope. You will be a positive role model for the younger ones coming after you. They will look to you as you chart the way forward. They will look to you for inspiration, and you will be their source of hope. That is our hope. You will shape and reshape Montserrat into one with a sense of shared community and fellowship. You will fashion a community which is welcoming to the stranger at our gates. You will shape our Montserrat community into one where every person has worth and every child feels safe and protected. You will develop a community where personal property is respected and where generation of personal wealth and investment is not cause to be ashamed or to be afraid. You will be a community which supports and encourages traditional values such as love for God, respect and care for others, and you will watch out for your fellow men. You will contribute to the prevention of crime in our country. That is our hope. That is Montserrat's hope. You will live healthy lifestyles, recognizing the soaring cost of health care. You will make healthy life choices, especially regarding how and what you eat and what you put into your bodies and how you spend your leisure time. You will demonstrate due care and diligence in the use of the media, particularly the internet, and you will exploit it for the good it can do. That is our hope. You will live in such a way that you protect our environment for the future as you exploit our natural natural resources. You will do so in a sustainable and responsible way. You will protect our farmlands. You will protect our water supply and the wildlife in our center hills. You will protect our coastline. You will watch out for the oriole and the hairy mango and the mountain chicken. That is our hope. That is Montserrat's hope. We have reason to be proud of you tonight. And you need to be proud of yourselves also. That you have done well as you have, in spite of the scarcity of resources, is a testimony to your hard work, the support of your parents, and the commitment of your teachers. And I congratulate all of you heartily. You have worked hard. You have done well. You have learned how to learn, and you have tasted the sweet nectar of success. You have been given the beginnings of a good education. The seeds of hope have been planted deep in your psyche. The green shoots are even now beginning to show. But there's a long way to go before we as a country can sit back and say, yes, we are reaping the benefits of our investment. There's a long way to go. I am confident that you are and you have the right stuff. That you have hope, and we have hope in you, that when the baton is eventually placed in your hands, the future of Montserrat will be secure. And we will climb out of the despair of economic dependency and rise like a phoenix to face a new dawn with hope and infinite possibilities. That is our future. That is our hope. Thank you.